This morning we have Karen Donaldson with Excel Weight Loss Management. Thank you for joining us once again. Now, last time you were on, we brought these visual displays of sugar packets to demonstrate how much sugar is in different things. And now today we're going to expand on that a little bit more and kind of start where we left off with noodles.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we already know there's sugar in like candy and cereals and stuff like that, so that's a no-brainer. And there may be a little bit of candy going on this weekend
with the Easter
holiday,
baskets.
So just be mindful of that. If you are going to enjoy some candy, just maybe really sit down and enjoy it instead of standing at the counter inhaling it, that kind of thing. Just a little side tip.
Okay, so, wonderful.
Back to the carbohydrates. There are carbohydrates in lots of different foods, and the bottom line is whenever we eat some carbohydrates, they get digested, and they basically end up as sugar in the blood. So all of the carbohydrates count as sugars eventually, with the exception of fiber. So if we're looking at a product like this is a whole wheat pasta, which has some merit to it because it has some fiber, but sometimes people forget that it still has quite a few carbohydrates. And we were looking, if you take a look at the label right here in bold letters, it will say total carbohydrates. That's where you start. In this particular product there are 41 grams. The dietary fiber is 6 grams, and you actually get to subtract that right off the top.
Because the dietary fiber is the good substance of the carbs.
It doesn't turn into sugars in the blood. So it's like free food, free carbohydrates. So if you take 41 and subtract 6, that leaves 35 grams of carbohydrates that actually do affect your blood sugar.
So they're acting as a sugar. So someone who grabs this off the shelf might look at this and see sugar's 1 gram and think, oh, this is really good. There's only 1 gram of sugar, but really they're dealing with 35. Exactly. Because the label only says sugar's 1 gram. This particular label does not list the complex carbohydrates, which is a little bit, I don't want to say deceptive, but it would be helpful if that information was on the label. So you do look at this and say it's a low sugar food, but as you just said, there still are a lot of carbohydrates. 35 grams total, actually, that you have to pay attention to. And all of those are represented by these sugar packets, and this is the amount of carbohydrate that is going to turn into sugar and affect your blood sugar. So we do have to pay attention to it. It doesn't mean that you should never ever eat pasta again. We just have to be really aware of the fact that there are carbohydrates and sugars in lots of our foods, not just candy, not just pop. And they're not necessarily listed on the ingredients.
Great point. They're not necessarily listed, which makes it even more confusing. I mean, that's like, you're like, oh, 1 gram of sugar, okay, that's fine, but that's not the whole story. So if you look at some other labels, for example, this is some all-bran crackers, they actually haven't listed the total or the complex carbohydrates either. They have the dietary or the carbohydrates of 19 and the fiber is 5. 19 minus 5 is 14, but it says it only has 3 grams of sugar. It still has some other grams of carbohydrate that you have to pay attention to. So you really do have to look at the label. Simplest thing to remember is total carbohydrates minus fiber. That will tell you how many carbohydrates you have to count in order to know how it's going to affect your blood sugar.
Okay, wow, a lot of great information. Let's touch on
show you one more.
Yep,
this is one more right here. Even in things like TV dinners and so on, this is going to have a lot of carbohydrate. The nice part about this is that it also has some protein, and you can get that on the label as well. This particular product has 26 grams of protein.
Oh, wow, that's a good amount.
It is a fair amount of protein. It also has a fair amount of sodium, 1,000 milligrams.
Oh, wow.
So you have to pay attention to all those things. If you need some help, give me a call.
Okay,
and we'll go over
how can
these
people
things.
get in contact with you?
Call us at Excel at 233-0593, or they can come see us at our health fair, which is on Thursday, April 19th.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for coming on the show and bringing all of this information. People can watch out this Easter as they enjoy those baskets.